Hello, my fellow adventurers. Today, I want to tell you about this one moment in history where people across the world literally stopped fighting at the exact same second, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, 11 a.m., November 11th, 1918. The Great War, World War I, had finally ended. Soldiers dropped their weapons, hugged strangers, cried, and said, "It's finally over." And that, my friend, is how Veterans Day was born. All right, now find your favorite blanket and settle in. This is your host at HootPODS, ready to whisk you away to an adventure that honors some of the most important people we know, our veterans. Let's discover the incredible stories of service and why we celebrate this special day. Now fast forward to today. You're scrolling, right? People arguing about random stuff, silly memes, cat videos, and Minecraft tutorials. But under all that noise, one day each year still exists to remind us what peace costs and who fought for it. Veterans Day. It's not just another no-school holiday. It's the day America says thank you to everyone who ever wore the uniform, living or gone. This day started as Armistice Day, just for World War I. But then after World War II in Korea, people were like, hold up, what about the rest of our soldiers? Congress listened, and in 1954, they changed it to Veterans Day to honor every single person who served. You got Raymond Weeks, a Navy vet, who was like, let's make it happen. And President Eisenhower was like, bet. So yeah, one guy's idea turned into a whole nation's tradition. Think about that. One person's voice can literally change the calendar. Wild, right? They tried to move Veterans Day to make a long weekend, like, yay, 3-day vacay. But people said, nah, don't mess with the vibe. Because November 11th isn't random. It's the anniversary of peace. Moving it felt like taking the frosting off a cake and saying it's still dessert. The backlash was so strong that Congress had to switch it back in 1978. Bro, that's democracy with a capital D. Citizens saying, respect the meaning. So yeah, we can cancel a lot of things, but not that date. Unfortunately, people seem to always mix up Veterans Day and Memorial Day, so here's the riz. Memorial Day is for the ones who died in battle. Veterans Day, it's for everyone who served, living legends included. You can thank the neighbor with a flag in their yard, your teacher's grandpa, or that quiet dude at the grocery store with a hat that says U.S. Army. That's who this day is for. Gratitude hits different when you realize freedom ain't free. Now let me tell you about someone who shows us what service really looks like. Her name was Florence See. Back in 1943, she was just 23 years old when she joined the Navy as one of the first women to serve in the waves, women accepted for volunteer and emergency service. Florence wasn't allowed in combat. Women weren't back then. But she decoded enemy messages at a top-secret facility in Washington, D.C. Every day, she'd sit at a desk with headphones on, listening to scrambled transmissions, searching for patterns that could save lives. One night, Florence caught something, a sequence that didn't fit. She flagged it. Turned out it was intel about a planned attack on Allied ships. Because of her sharp eyes and steady nerves, those ships changed course. Sailors went home to their families. But here's the thing. Florence never got a parade, no medal ceremony. For decades, her work was classified. She couldn't even tell her own kids what she did during the war. It wasn't until she was in her 80s that the Navy finally declassified her unit's work. A local reporter interviewed her, and you know what she said? I was just doing my job. We all were. Just doing my job. That's the heart of service right there. No glory, no spotlight. Just showing up every single day and doing what needs to be done because someone has to. And honestly, that spirit is still alive today. I want to take a second to talk about my friend Marco. Marco's been deployed several times since I've known him. And even when he's home, he's not always home. There are these training exercises where he gets pulled away for 2 weeks at a time. 2 weeks where he's not tucking his kids into bed. 2 weeks where he's not there when his dog jumps on him the second he walks through the door. 2 weeks where he's sleeping in a tent, eating MRES. Those meals ready to eat that, let's be real, aren't exactly gourmet. And training for scenarios we all pray never happen. Marco doesn't complain. He doesn't post about it for likes. He just goes. Because that's what service looks like. It's missing your kid's soccer game. It's FaceTiming from a time zone away and pretending you're not exhausted. It's carrying the weight of what if so the rest of us don't have to. And here's what gets me. Marco doesn't do this for the recognition. He does it because he believes in something bigger than himself. He's preparing to defend our democracy. God forbid we should ever need it. And every time he leaves, his family holds down the fort, knowing that their sacrifice matters too. So Marco, if you're listening, thank you. Thank you for every deployment. Thank you for every training exercise. Thank you for every moment you chose duty over comfort. You're the real one, man, and your kids, they're learning what it means to be brave just by watching you. Now let's steel man this. Some people say, we don't need more holidays about war. Let's focus on peace. And yeah, valid point. But here's the twist. Veterans Day is about peace. It started that way. It's a thank you to those who risked everything so others could argue, create, dream, and scroll in peace. It's not glorifying war. It's honoring the people who carried that burden so we wouldn't have to. People like Florence, who spent decades in silence. People like Marco, who says goodbye to his family, knowing it's for something bigger. So what do we actually do with this day? Sure, you can sleep in, but also write a thank you note to a veteran. Visit a ceremony. Ask your grandparents about their memories, or just stop for a second at 11 a.m. and think, someone's bravery lets me live this life. And get this, there's even a ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery every year, right at 11 a.m. They lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The vibe, total silence, no ads, no noise, just honor. Then across the country, people celebrate. Parades, free meals, concerts. Yeah, Applebee's might give free wings, but the real gift is respect. Veterans Day isn't just about soldiers. It's about us. It's the reminder that being part of a country means showing up, caring, saying thanks, and keeping history alive. Florence See passed away in 2019 at the age of 99. At her funeral, a Navy honor guard folded the flag and handed it to her daughter. Her daughter said, "Mom would have been embarrassed by all this fuss, but you know what? She earned every second of it, just like Marco earns it every time he puts on that uniform." So next time someone asks what Veterans Day is, don't just say, it's about soldiers. Say, it's about peace. It's about courage. It's about people like Florence and Marco who gave their time, their comfort, their safety, sometimes their whole lives, so we could have ours. And maybe, just maybe, the best way to thank a veteran is to be the kind of citizen worth fighting for. To vote, to care, to remember. To do our jobs with the same quiet dedication they showed. Anyway, shout out to everyone who served. You're the real ones. And to Marco and all the veterans out there, we see you. We honor you. And we won't forget. Mic drop.